Divine grace. Abhay Charanaravindra Bhakti Vedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada ki. ISKCON founder Acharya, BBD founder Acharya, savior of the whole world, Jagat Guru Srila Prabhupada ki. Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda ki. Namacharya Srila Haridas Thakur ki. Grantara Śrimad Bhāgavatam ki. कलियुग पावन श्री हरि नाम संकीर्तन महायज्ञ की. हरे कृष्ण महामंत्र की. निताय गौर प्रेमानंदे. All glories to assembled devotees. All glories to assembled devotees. All glories to assembled devotees. All glories, all glories, all glories to Shri Guru and Shri Gauranga. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayamudiraye. Nashtaprayesha Bhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya. Bhagavati Uttama-shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naishtiki. Krishnaya Vasudevaya Devaki Nandanaya Cha Nanda Gopa Kumaraya Govindaya Namo Namaha. Hare Krishna, we are reading from Śrimad Bhāgavatam, Canto 4, Chapter 2, Text 33. Maitra Uvacha Tasyaivam vadata shāpam Bhrigo sa bhagavan bhavaha Nishchakrama tatah kinchid Vimana ivasanugaha. Maitra Uvacha Tasyaivam vadata shāpam Bhrigo sa bhagavan bhavaha Nishchakrama tatah kinchid Vimana ivasanugaha. Maitra Uvacha Tasyaivam vadata shāpam Bhrigo sa bhagavan bhavaha Nishchakrama tatah kinchid Vimana ivasanugaha. Maitra Uvacha Tasyaivam vadata shāpam Bhrigo sa bhagavan bhavaha Nishchakrama tatah kinchid Vimana ivasanugaha. Maitra Uvacha Tasyaivam vadata shāpam Bhrigo sa bhagavan bhavaha Nishchakrama tatah kinchid Vimana ivasanugaha. Maitreya Uvacha Tasyaivam vadata shāpam Bhrigo sa bhagavan bhavaha Nishchakrama tatah kinchid Vimana ivasanugaha. Maitra Uvacha Tasyaivam vadata shāpam Bhrigo sa bhagavan bhavaha Nishchakrama tatah kinchid Vimana ivasanugaha. Mataji. Maitra Uvacha तस्यैवं वदतः शापम् भृगो स भगवान् भवः रामततः किञ्चित् विमना इव सानुगः. Translation synonym. What the word meaning? Maitra uvacha. Maitreya said, Tasya, of him, the evam, thus, vadataha, being spoken, shapam, curse, brigo, of brigu, saha, he, Bhagavan, the possessor of all opulences, Bhavaha, Lord Shiva, Nishchakrama, went, Tataha, from there, Kinchit, somewhat, Vimanaha, morose, Iva, as, Sa Anugaha, followed by his disciples. Translation: The sage Maitra said, please repeat. When such cursing and counter cursing was going on between Lord Shiva's followers and the parties of Daksha and Bhrigu, Lord Shiva became very morose. Not saying anything, he left the arena of sacrifice, followed by his disciples. Sri Prabhupada's purport. Here Lord Shiva's excellent character is described. In spite of the cursing and counter-cursing between the parties of Daksha and Shiva, because he is the greatest Vaishnava, he was so sober that he did not say anything. A Vaishnava is always tolerant, and Lord Shiva is considered the topmost Vaishnava. So his character, as shown in this scene, is excellent. He became morose because he knew that these people, both his men and Dakshas, were unnecessarily cursing and counter-cursing one another without any interest in spiritual life. From his point of view, he did not see anyone as lower or higher because he is a Vaishnava. As stated in the Bhagavad Gita 5:18, Pandita Samadarshinaha. One who is perfectly learned does not see anyone as lesser or greater, because he sees everyone from the spiritual platform. Thus, the only alternative left to Lord Shiva was to leave in order to stop his follower, Nandishvara, as well as Bhrigu Muni from cursing and counter cursing in that way. Om Ajnanatimirandasya Jnananjanashalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Nama Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Presthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swaminiti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesh Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपासिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे. Hare Krishna. Welcome all of you to the morning Śrimad Bhāgavatam class. And I would like to seek the blessings of His Grace Ramai Prabhu and all the assembled Vaishnavas so that I can speak in line with Sri Prabhupada's purport. Actually, Śrimad Bhāgavatam is said to be the best teacher apart from being one's friend, because in Śrimad Bhāgavatam, all these narrations can teach us a lot. Now, in this particular context, you find there are three qualities of Shiva being highlighted. How he is setting an example of how to deal with different situations. So can anyone say what are the three qualities of Shiva? Yeah. First one is tolerance. Okay. And others? Silent. Okay. So silent. And Okay. I mean, it's then purport. He sees everyone equally. Mhm. And the other one you can say is humility, because he did not say anything back, rather he left the place. So Srila Prabhupada is saying here Lord Shiva's excellent character is described because amidst the greatest calamity, what was going on there was directly affecting Shiva's ego. Direct cursing, everything was basically because Daksha was insulted Shiva. So everyone started speaking, everyone started cursing, counter cursing, except Lord Shiva, who was actually the victim there. And Prabhupada says that he was the one who was sober, and this is a Vaishnava. And Srila Prabhupada attributes it to tolerance, Pandita Samadarshana, and humility is because he did not say because someone is saying something to me, therefore I have to say back. He left the place. So we all have so much to learn from Lord Shiva's character. So in the Srimad Bhāgavatam, Lord Kapila, I think in Lord Kapila section it comes the ornaments of a Vaishnava, also called a Sadhu Bhushan. तितिक्षव कारुणिकाः सुहृद सर्वदेहिनाम् अजातशत्तशान्ताः sadhava sadhubhushanaha. Even the sadhus wear ornaments, and these ornaments are ornaments of Vaishnava qualities. What are they? First one is titikshavaha. Titikshavaha means tolerance. In the face of calamity, especially when you cannot do anything about it, Krishna advises Arjuna that you learn to tolerate, because there will be times of happiness, there will be times of distress. And he says the wise do not lament for the inevitable. Agatasun nanu shochanti panditaha. Krishna says in Gita to Arjuna. And then he later on says, Mata spashastu kanteya shitoshna sukha dukkada agama paino nityas tam satikshasva bharata. Sometimes we feel this is basic knowledge. It is for the bhaktas, isn't it? Actually, tolerance matures into forgiveness. That means initially we have to tolerate with grudge. Later on, one can tolerate without being affected. But that tolerance now later on from a seeking mood becomes a giving mood of forgiveness. So therefore, tolerance is one Vaishnava quality that's we all have to wear the ornament of. Then tolerance, titikshava karunikaha is mercifulness. And Suhrita Sarvadehinam, one who is friendly to all the living entities. And that's also explained here in the form of Pandita Samadarshana. He's seeing everyone equally. And this is not easy. You will find the reason for the war of Kurukshetra, it is because Dhritarashtra could not see the Kauravas and the Pandavas as both his sons. Dharmakshetre Kurukshetre Samavete Yutsavaha Mamaka Pandavaschaiva Kim Akuruta Sanjaya. And over there, Sri Prabhupada points out this is the mentality of Dhritarashtra because of which war was there. Because he felt my sons are the only heirs to heritage, the Kuru heritage. Whereas Pandavas, they have no claim because they're not born from me, isn't it? Whereas you see, in contrast, Lord Shiva, how is he treating? He saw not only Daksha's men are cursing, my followers are also cursing. Therefore, he was disappointed with both, and therefore he left the place. So, in this way, Lord Shiva is Samadarshana, is explained, and therefore there was no war, they were only cursing. Kurukshetra became a big war because Dhritarashtra, he did not discriminate properly. Therefore, Suhrita Sarvadehinam Ajata Shatraha, that means Lord Shiva doesn't, or a top Vaishnava, very advanced Vaishnavas, they have no enemies, like Yudhishthir. Shantaha, they're always peaceful amongst all calamities. How are they peaceful amongst all calamities? Amidst all calamities? Because they depend on the Lord. Because they depend on the Lord, they're always peaceful, whatever happens. Sadhava sadhu bhushanaha. So in this way, you'll also find one other thing pointed out in this purport is Lord Shiva walked away. Why did Lord Shiva walk away? It is because he understood this is no place for spiritual growth. He saw that these people are cursed. It looks very spiritual. The whole point of assembly in this area, in this region, was because they wanted to perform yajna to satisfy Lord Vishnu. Therefore, Lord Shiva was present. Vaishnavanam yatha Shambhu. He's the topmost Vaishnava, and therefore he was present. But what happened? There was no spiritual activity. It's like you call everyone for a spiritual program, but instead of the program, everyone is doing prajalpa. So Vaishnava leaves. He has nothing to do with such place. In the fifth canto, a verse comes which says, Vaishnava is in that place where there is Sankirtan going on, where there is glorification of the pastimes of the Lord going on, where there are devotees taking shelter of the Supreme Lord. Such a place is inhabited by Vaishnavas, and if the Indra's kingdom, the heavenly planet, is not a house to such programs, then Vaishnava doesn't care a fig for it. That is also mentioned. So therefore, Lord Shiva walked away from this place. And in Śrimad Bhāgavatam, we will find time and again devotees walk away from a situation, isn't it? In the Bhagavad Gita, we find in Mahabharata, Arjuna wanted to walk away from the battlefield because he found, Prabhupada writes in the purport to 121, he says that Arjuna was a pure devotee and he was a soft-hearted Vaishnava, so he could not see fighting between two people, two parties, and therefore he wanted to leave, being a soft-hearted Vaishnava. But then Krishna told him to go back, and therefore Arjuna fought the war. But from Arjuna's point of view, he didn't want to fight. Therefore, he wanted to walk away from the situation. Similarly, you will find in Śrimad Bhāgavatam, Kardama Muni, when he gave birth to Lord Kapila, he had already taken a vow. He had told Swambhuv Manu, who is the father of Devavati, that once I give birth to children, once I give Devavati some children, I will go away. So initially he gave 9 daughters to Devavati. But then Devavati said, if you go now, how will what will happen to me? Then he stayed back and he gave a son to Devavati. And that was Lord Kapila. And that's where the question arises, the Supreme Lord, Personality of Godhead is in his home, but he still went for sannyas. I mean, how do you make sense of it? The Supreme Personality of Godhead, Shri Krishna, has incarnated in your household as Lord Kapila, and he is taking sannyas. Why? Because Kardama Muni is setting an example. Anyone in this world should learn to follow his spiritual duty, spiritual calling. And therefore, even though he might be in household, will his consciousness be spiritual? That is the real question. And therefore, he took sannyas. He left home and went to the forest where he can meditate on the Supreme Lord. And this was what the promise was. So again, Kardama walked out. Similarly, you will find later on in the 4th canto, when King Anga is said to be, he is said to be a very pure devotee of the Supreme Lord. But unfortunately, he got a son who was complete contrast to him. He was a demon by nature. For fun, he would kill people. If he would be playing with other children or his friends, if he didn't like what the other children did, if someone cheated or if he cheated, or if he didn't win, he would take out a sword and cut off the head. So then Vena, such characteristics were known from before, from his early childhood. But then Anga always felt that Vena has a chance. Because naturally a father is affectionate to his son. So he was trying to train Vena to take up the kingship. But Vena never let go of his demoniac nature. So Anga, though he tried his best, Vena didn't reform. So what did Anga do? He left and took sannyas. He understood, I have tried my best. Now it's up to the Supreme Lord. So he also followed his spiritual calling. And then in you can also see the story of King Bharata in 5th canto. That King Bharata also leaves, and it is mentioned, uh, Juha Yuvaiva Malavat Uttama Shloka Lalasaha. That means King Bharata left the household at the prime of his youth again. So in this way, you will find time and again the pure devotees of the Supreme Lord, they leave, walk away from a situation, isn't it? I mean, Srila Prabhupada, he walked away from, you can say, apparently from Shivindavan Dham, he walked away, isn't it? But he walked away to give Krishna consciousness to others. And in the, again, fourth canto, you will find, Prithu walked away from his ambition of conducting 100 yajnas. Why did he walk away? Yeah, Indra didn't want him to do, but he was doing it for the welfare of the entire society. But why did he walk away? Yeah, because that was going to please the Supreme Lord. When Brahma descended and Brahma told Prithu, better you stop because Indra is not going to listen. So Prithu stopped, and then Vishnu came and saw who is this guy Prithu. He was just observing him for some time, and he was just amazed by this Vaishnava quality of Prithu. Just imagine you're right there. Your 99 yajnas are done. The last yajna, you will be world famous. You are going to do good to the society. You will get all name and fame. But someone is, for foolish reason, someone is putting an obstacle in your path. Prithu could have immediately executed him, but Brahma said, "Don't do it. You should stop." And Prithu stopped. This Vaishnava quality of obedience to superiors was appreciated by the Supreme Lord. See? So Prithu walked away to be Krishna conscious. So whether to walk away or not walk away from a situation, one has to be really mature. What should I do in a particular situation? Sometimes in a situation, just taking example of Prithu, Prithu was 100% correct, but Indra wasn't. He was 100% wrong. But still Prithu stopped for the betterment of society, so that everyone be Krishna conscious. So he himself will be Krishna conscious, and it is order of another pure devotee, Brahma. So in this way we find that it takes maturity in spiritual life. As we progress in spiritual life, when we grow through situations, then we get an understanding when to stop, when not to stop. And what is it that makes a living entity attach himself to situation? It is something called as false ego, or you can say material identity. When we feel that, when we connect ourselves with our material identity, we feel very absorbed in a situation, isn't it? When I think I'm the, I'm the smartest, or I'm the best cook, or I'm the most talented, then someone tells you something with that regard, then you cannot stop, because the attachment to material identity is there, and that's what doesn't allow us to grow, isn't it? So therefore, what motivates us to foolishly attach to material situation is something called as a doership mentality. Krishna calls it ahankara vimuratma kartahamiti manyate. Now, one Prabhu was saying when he went in Mumbai, he was, the Mumbai local trains. They are so jam packed, you cannot really choose where you want to get down, because when the crowd gets down, you get down along with them. It is so jam packed. And he was saying once he was stuck in a train, completely stuck by all sides, but he had a bag of Gitas with him to distribute. And then a person looked at him and said, "Are you from ISKCON?" He said, "Who else can have this hairstyle?" And then he said, the person asked him, "Can I have a copy of Gita?" He said, "Yes, it's in my bag, but I cannot reach out to it because there's so much of rush. I'm stuck." Then he said, "If you want, you can put your hand and take the Gita." Then he said, "How much does it cost?" He said, "Maybe 100 rupees or something." And then the person took the Gita, and then he said, "I have 100 rupees." And he said, "Okay, put it in my pocket." And he put it in the pocket. Then I think instead of 100 he had 200 rupees or something. Then he had to give change. So he told him put 200 rupees in the pocket and take out 100 rupees. So he put 200 rupees and took out 100 rupees and took the Gita. So this devotee remarked that all this entire transaction of distributing a Gita happened without his using of hands. He was completely stuck, and therefore he understood that day that I'm not the doer, isn't it? Because when we think I'm the doer, then we use all our might, all our skill set, everything to really get into it and control the situation. But this devotee was saying that he was completely stuck in the train, but still Gita got distributed. So, similarly, when one has the false ego thinking that I am the doer, without me, nothing will move in this world. If I am not there, how will temple run? So that is what makes a living entity get absorbed in material life. And that is called as bhayam vitiya abhinivesha tasyat. Abhinivesha means complete material absorption. And this material absorption doesn't allow us to leave or walk away from a situation. One will be stuck in a situation. So similarly, you will find, can you give any example who had to leave the situation but did not leave? I give examples of many pure devotees who were ready to walk away from a situation. But the Bhagavatam also talks about those who should have left, but they did not have the willpower to leave on account of material attachment. Yeah, Dhritarashtra did not leave. Finally, Vidura had to come and chastise him. He said, how are you living pathetically like a dog in the household of the same person whom you wanted to kill? These sharp words of a sadhu cut his material attachment. Okay, good. Anyone else from the scriptures? Hmm? Okay, yeah. Ravana could not walk away from Sita on account of his lust. So therefore, through lust, he was blinded on account of material attachment. Okay, and, and there's so many examples. Okay, that is different. I'm saying on account of while walking away from situation. He should have walked away, but he stuck on due to material attachment. Yes, very good. King Bharat in the forest, he saved the deer, but he could have walked away from its further protection and getting distracted. And Srila Prabhupada writes in the purport, because of his willful neglect, he purposely, voluntarily, willfully neglected his spiritual life, and therefore he had to take two more births to perfect his life. Isn't it? And then, any other example? You can even say Arjuna on account of material attachment. Apparently, he was walking away, but you can also say that he was not ready to walk away from his own material attachment of not fighting the war. And therefore, Krishna calls it in second chapter of the Gita as Kshudram Hridaya Daurbalyam. Then he says, Tatvotishta Parantapa. Arjuna, give up this weakness of heart which has arisen because of material attachment. And surrender to, yeah. Correct. He could not say speak the lie because he was attached to being truthful, isn't it? So in this way, you will find whether to walk away from a situation or to be there, present in the situation, to get involved. It all depends on how much we value Krishna consciousness. Actually, the Brahmande Brahmate Kaun Bhagwan Jeev, Guru Krishna Prasad Pai, Bhakti Lata Beach. By the great mercy of Guru and Krishna, one gets this Bhakti Lata Beach. That means the very fact that we're practicing Krishna consciousness is not by our interest. How many of us came to ISKCON looking for Krishna? Or how many of us came to the US looking for Krishna? None of us. We are actually looking for maybe prasad, some community. Therefore, now preaching style also changes. Now, preaching style is now create a more community type of setting where people can get adjusted. Philosophy also later on. First community. Because people are not looking for Krishna, isn't it? So, therefore, the very fact that we are still chanting Hare Krishna, we are in the association of Vaishnavas, practicing the 9 limbs of devotional service, we have to understand this is not ordinary. This is Guru Krishna's mercy. By the mercy of Krishna, one gets Guru, by mercy of Guru, one gets Krishna. And therefore, we are practicing devotional service in the association of serious practitioners of Krishna consciousness. Now, problem comes when we forget. And when do we forget? That we keep forgetting everything, isn't it? When we forget the goal, why we are here, that's when the real problem comes. It is said, people who do not get Krishna consciousness in their lives at all, they are unfortunate. But who do get Krishna consciousness in their lives, they are fortunate. But those people who get it and then lose it, they're most unfortunate. So sometimes when we forget being distracted by devotional service, being distracted from devotional service, when we get swayed away from our actual goal to attain Krishna Prema, then we get into situations like this. A serious devotee, he is very alert with Maya. He sees a small spark of Maya, immediately he quits that place. Whereas a not so serious devotee, he encourages Maya, isn't it? He feels it's okay, I'm practicing Krishna consciousness. Krishna will protect me. His own false philosophy, his own false understanding. He thinks I'm so great, let me anyway do it. Krishna will protect me. It actually is not dependence, it is his own foolishness. Whereas a pure devotee, he sees because he has Viveka Buddhi. Vyavasayatmika Buddhi Ekeha Kurunandana. Because a pure devotee is very, very focused on serving Krishna, therefore he is very, very keen on distinguishing. He can see things as it is. Tatha tata pashyati vastu sukshmam, 11th canto Bhāgavatam says. More we become spiritually enlightened, more you can see Maya and Krishna as separate, as oil and water. You never confuse oil and water. And you mix them together, oil remains oil, water remains water. They'll never mix. But a person who is encouraging Maya in one's life, for him, it becomes like milk and water. Milk and water mixes and gets diluted, and we never know. The milk of Krishna is diluted. It tastes like water now because we have diluted with sense gratification. So, therefore, to walk away from a situation is only possible in the best interest of our own Krishna consciousness. Otherwise, a living entity is foolishly getting attached, getting affected, getting involved in every situation obstacle he gets into. As Hansru Prabhu says, don't try to fight the obstacles that are not in your way. Isn't it? Because they're never going to hit you. But sometimes the foolish living entity, he goes on the social media, he's looking for obstacles. He's looking for, okay, election, what happened? What did this guy say? What did that guy say? Politics, world economy, how is it going up, going down? So he himself is putting himself in front of obstacles. Otherwise, the living entity, the serious devotee, he withdraws himself. So therefore, spiritual maturity means to be able to distinguish between Krishna and Maya. And that only happens when we get deeper into bhakti. More we become mature in bhakti, more our Viveka Buddhi increases, our discriminating factor. And then we will not get swayed away by Maya. So similarly here Lord Shiva, being Vaishnavana Metha Shambhu, the topmost Vaishnava, he could clearly see these people are simply fighting amongst themselves. And Prabhupada writes, what does he say? He became morose because he knew that these people, both his men and Dakshas, were unnecessarily cursing and counter-cursing one another without any interest in spiritual life. So the very advanced devotee, he doesn't encourage the activities of the neophytes. As it is said, fight, neophyte. The neophytish devotees, for small things, they're ready to fight. Whereas the serious Vaishnava, he doesn't want to engage in these things. And in the scriptures, you will find when the Digvijay Pandit, what is named, I think Roop Narayan or someone who challenged, he was going in all directions to prove that I am the best scholar. And then he went to Vrindavan to show to the whole world, I even conquered the scholars in Vrindavan. So that is the time he met Srila Rupa Goswami. And when he met Srila Rupa Goswami, he said, I want to debate with you because I want to show that I am a better scholar than you. But Rupa Goswami Pad said, Vrindavan is not for that purpose, to debate and waste time. This is the quality of a neophyte. And therefore he said, give me the papers, I am ready to sign that you have defeated me. So the Digvijay Pandit happily gave the papers and Rupa Goswami signed it. And then he understood Rupa Goswami Pad has a elder brother, Sanatana Goswami, who's another big scholar. And then he went to Sanatana Goswami and said, I want to defeat you in a debate to show my supremacy. Sanatana Goswami said, this is not a place for that. Material world is a place for that. So that is when Sanatana Goswami also asked for the papers, signed, you have defeated me. Because the pure devotees value Krishna consciousness more than anything. Therefore, they are able to kick out name, fame, prestige. Name, fame, glory, same old story, as they say. The pure devotees are not after that. But then you will find Srila Jiva Goswami, of course, Srila Jiva Goswami did not walk away from the situation. You know why? Not that he wanted to show supremacy, his supremacy. But Srila Jiva Goswami wanted to protect what Rupa Goswami and Sanatana Goswami are teaching. And therefore, to protect those teachings, Srila Jiva Goswami, when this Digvijay Pandit came to Srila Jiva Goswami and said, I've defeated your brothers. What about you? Do you also want to concede? Defeat? He said, what? You have defeated my brothers, Srila Rupa and Sanatana Goswami. It's impossible. Then he said, I'm their younger, I think he was nephew, brother of their, son of their brother. So he said, if you defeat me, then I'll accept it. Then debate happened and he defeated this Digvijay Pandit. But unfortunately, the news reached Rupa Goswami Pad, and then he told Jiva Goswami. He called for him and chastised him. He said, Vrindavan is not a place for this, for unnecessary debate. So therefore, you should quit Vrindavan, exit Vrindavan. That was the time Jiva Goswami left Vrindavan and he used to cry in one place. Later on, when Sanatana Goswami was going around in Vrindavan, because he's called as the guru of all the Vrajvasis, was going around, that time he heard some sobbing sound. When he heard someone was crying, immediately he went and he saw it was actually Jiva Goswami. Then later on he goes to Rupa Goswami and says, please do accept him back. And then Rupa Goswami accepts. And later on again it happens. Again Jiva Goswami is asked to leave Vrindavan. You will find, why is Rupa Goswami Pad asking Jiva Goswami to leave? Because spiritual consciousness gets affected when we indulge ourselves in anything mundane. And the most dangerous aspect are the grey zones. The grey zone means it's not very clear if it's spiritual or material. That's what affects us deeply. If someone says, okay, this is complete Maya, you will be very alert. Someone says this is complete Krishna, okay, you're ready to do it. But the grey zone, that means in spiritual circle, that which is Maya, in spiritual circle. To not come for the morning program is Maya in spiritual circle, isn't it? For materialists, there's a conception of morning program. Forget it. For devotees, to be lazy, to be lethargic, to be unclean. So in this way, you will find these are all some things within the spiritual circle, which is also Maya. So therefore, one student asked one senior devotee in Chowpatty, he said, when I'm taking darshan of the, actually his question was, in Ramayana, Supreme Lord Ram was present next to Sita. How did Sita get attracted to golden deer? This was his question. And the senior devotee said, sometimes, there's darshan of the beautiful deities, but still a boy is looking towards the Mataji side, isn't it? So that means the Maya is not outside the temple. Maya is in the mind. Maya can be wherever you go. A senior pure devotee Bhava platform, if Bharat Maharaj can get distracted, you all can get distracted. And therefore, a pure devotee is one who is sincere practitioner, serious practitioner, and a strict practitioner. Sincere to pursue the goal of Krishna Prema, he is uh, strict with respect to rules and regulations, and he is serious with respect to his practice of devotional service. So, therefore, the pure devotee and exalted Vaishnava like Shiva, he understood this is no place for a gentleman. This is no place for practicing spiritual interest, pursuing spiritual interest, and therefore he left the place. As did so many people, as mentioned Bhagavatam. So it's already time, so I'll stop here. If anyone has any comments or questions, you can ask. Can you give the mic, Ramak? Thank you. Any other questions or comments?
What are some of the other gray areas that one should be careful, which could be interpreted as Maya in spiritual circle?
Well, even the breaking of four regular principles, especially, which can even happen, you know, even in devotee circles, the subtle principle. First of all, the gross principles of no illicit sex, no meat eating, no gambling, no intoxication. But subtle means even pride, false prestige, or violence in terms of using, hurting others' feelings, or like this, or cheating propensity, cheating other Vaishnavas. So these also one has to be, these also gray zones, or even you can say like neglect of instruction, like overeating. You're taking prasad, but overeating prasad, and also Maya in devotion circle. So like that, in within the association of devotees also there is Maya available. Basically, it depends on consciousness. So therefore, I said strict devotee means one who is very careful with respect to rules and regulations. One can say, anyway, I attend morning program Mangalati other days, so today I can take some rest. A strict devotee is not like that. He's pretty strict. So that's also gray area. Some lethargy, some laziness, unnecessarily going late, which affects his morning program, or unnecessarily getting into controversial topics. Did man go to the moon? And why does Prabhupada make some certain statements in certain purports like this? All these are things that can take us away from Krishna consciousness. Better if some such topics are there, some doubts are there. Better to ask someone who can answer the question. But today people fancy in discussing amongst peers. These are my comments on the GBC. What do you think? What do you think? About this decision, that decision. About chocolate, about this. So this is all complete waste of time, complete wastage. And this is how the material intelligence dissuades a sincere follower of Krishna consciousness. This is material intelligence because they're using reasoning, so it's intelligence. But then it is taking them to Maya. Their intelligence is taking them to Maya, and therefore it's called material or perverted intelligence. So these are some of the gray zones. Otherwise, if we want to practice pure Krishna consciousness, Shravanam Kirtanam, that is, hear about Krishna, glorify Krishna, engage in seva, remember him. So these are pure practices, untinged by anything else. If someone is just engaged in pure devotion service, immense progress. But for those people who deviate, they halt their progress. Yeah.
Krishna Prabhu. So my question is like, so the Nandishwara cursed Brahmanas and Yaksha both. So if only Nandishwara only cursed Yakshas would have been the right thing. Like if you wouldn't have cursed Brahmanas.
So the thing is, Lord Shiva did not appreciate anyone cursing and counter cursing. He didn't appreciate it. It is not Vaishnava etiquette. So all of them had come over there for one purpose of performing yajna to please the Supreme Lord Vishnu. So the whole point is they should have stuck to that purpose. Okay, Daksha made one offense, but then his own people are again cursing, which Shiva did not appreciate, and then there was counter cursing again. Shiva did not appreciate. So therefore, as Ramana Prabhu said, he left the place just so that they will at least stop cursing. You will find in King Parikshit, when he was cursed by Shringi, because he was so Krishna conscious king, he understood this to be Krishna's mercy. He didn't curse back. So Prabhupada writes in the purport there that Parikshit could have cursed back, and he could have countered the curse of Shringi, that means cancelled that curse and cursed back at Shringi, or he could have executed Shringi. But King Parikshit didn't do that. He himself felt bad because a Vaishnava feels bad. When small little he deviates, he feels I'm a big sinful person, isn't it? So by putting the dead snake around Shringi's father, Samik Rishi's neck, King Parikshit was already remorseful and he was feeling, let me be punished for this. That is the time he heard that Shringi had cursed him to die in 7 days. So wholeheartedly accepted the curse. As what? As an opportunity to make spiritual progress. Isn't it? So that time he didn't curse because Vaishnavas don't curse. It's only the neophyte devotees, they are the ones who curse. Vaishnavas generally don't curse. Yeah.
So what should be the ideal behavior of a devotee, a disciple, if a guru is being disrespected or something?
Well, the first class disciple of a guru is one who can understand the mind of the guru, the heart of the guru. So, so the problem is when we really don't know what is the heart of the guru, isn't it? For example, my spiritual master says, anyone who involves himself in temple politics, he is not my disciple, he says. So now if still someone is involving, that means they don't know the heart of the guru. So better to ask the guru, okay, how do you want me to respond in this case? The guru will say, just leave it, don't get involved in material affairs. Leave it and go. But if one can understand the heart of the guru and anyway leave it by himself, that means he has understood. He's a first class disciple. At least we should be second class. Second class means at least ask and find out. Third class means you get to know, you ask, and he says, and still you don't do it. So better to be at least a second class disciple. Better to ask. We don't know. So ask. Yeah?
So it's okay to retaliate if it's is the heart of the guru, and it's if it's okay, then how is okay with that quality of a tolerance?
Is it okay to retaliate?
If it's the heart of the guru, like to retaliate when the guru is disrespected. So
Yeah.
so it's
That means he's not Vaishnava Guru. Yeah. That means not Vaishnava. We will pause there. Grantha Śrimad Bhāgavatam ki, Shri Prabhupada ki.
okay.